Greetings and salutations. This is John. Welcome to my video about 2020 NBA mock draft post lottery 1.0. Hopefully you checked out my other two videos, 1 through 10 and 11 through 20. This is 21 through 30, rounding out the end of the first round for this mock draft. Starting off at 21, the Philadelphia Sixers. They're a big team. They need a lot of shooting. You know, there's a lot of conversation about Simmons and Embiid not meshing. You know, they're too talented not to give a few more years to try to for them to get together and hopefully win a championship. You know, they had some bad contracts in Tobias Harris and Al Horford. Not necessarily bad players, but you know the amount of money they're paying for them, those players aren't producing. Um, the Sixers have a bunch of guards, but they need to upgrade their guard talent, especially at point guard. They need more of a floor general. You know, Shake Milton's developing; he's a combo guard, but they need a starting point guard. I have the Sixers selecting Theo Maledon out of France, young guy, developing point guard. He's 6'4". Good height, very athletic, very coordinated. Probably the most coordinated player in this draft. He can develop into be a decent point guard, floor general. Might take a few years. Sixers select him here. You know, kind of best player available, best player with potential, best potential available. You know, I was thinking about Grant Riller out of Charleston. An older player who's an offensive talent, probably the best offensive player in this draft. But I think Theo Maledon, he has more of a potential to be a defender, on-ball defender than Grant Riller. So that's where I think the Sixers go with that. They need more shooting. Hopefully, in their picks in the second round, they can select some shooting. At 22, the Nuggets. I mean, anybody watches the NBA, they know the Nuggets are uber talented from point guard to center, and they have some depth. Michael Porter Jr. is going to be a beast. Jokic is a talented player. So I have the Nuggets taking Tyrese Maxey. Just went with the best player available. Maxey, he should have went earlier, but you know, he drops and you know, they pick him up, and he's another Kentucky guard that the Nuggets play with. You know, spark off the bench. He's kind of a tweener, 6'3", but he's a scoring guard, so he can contribute. Then the Jazz 23. Finally, someone picks up Jaden McDaniels, the forward out of Washington. He had a lot of hype coming out of high school. 6'9", 6'10", long guy, very thin, very coordinated. He's a little bit of a head case. Needs to mature some, develop his outside shot. But he has, you know, in this particular draft, he has top 5 talent. Not top 5 in the NBA, but top 5 in this draft. But he had a bad freshman year, so I think the Jazz go ahead and take a flyer on him. The Jazz need some help at power forward depth, and they also, you know, they're in the West, so they can use a wing that can kind of defend some of those bigger wings that are, you know, kind of dominating the West. Those players from, you know, L.A. and you know, Michael Porter Jr. You know, so I think Jaden McDaniels, he's a good defender already. He used some size, you know, some strength and some weight, but he's long, he's quick, so you know, he has great potential. Then next we have the Milwaukee Bucks, uber talented team. I think that they don't know what to do when Giannis is not playing. Chris Middleton's not dominant enough to kind of take the weight of the responsibility of the team when Giannis is on the bench. So I think that the Bucks go with the ball dominant player. I have him going with Leandro Balmaro, international player, 6'6", 6'7", wing player, ball dominant. He's a playmaker. I just think that the Bucks team, the surrounding, the role players, the supporting cast will do well with a player. Nobody's like Giannis, but a ball dominant player, they can kind of like, play Robin to Batman. Even though Ballmars will be a rookie next year, I think they would go that route. Bucks use some talent at two guard. I think they still have Wesley Matthews playing. He and the other guard. They're getting a little older, so they can use some talent. I like DiVincenzo, another Villanova player, but Balmaro. Then we have the Thunder. Love the Thunder. Play hard. Chris Paul. I wasn't necessarily particularly a fan. I didn't dislike Chris Paul, but I wasn't necessarily a fan of his for the first 10 years he was in the league. But the way he's led this team as far as like leadership and mentoring has been amazing. I think hopefully the Sam Presti doesn't break that team up. I think that they're getting more out of Chris Paul than they expected to. They're paying a lot of money, so they're getting their money's worth. I say that he's living up to his contract by his mentorship, and he's still playing at a high level. He added a 3-point shot. But if you look at the Thunder play, they have a bunch of two guards. They have some combo forwards. There are some rookies. They got some bigs. Chris Paul, he plays the point. SGA he's developing to be a very versatile player. They need a wing that can kind of defend some of those big power forwards in the West. I think the Thunder they reach here. They reach for T-Bay. I have S-Bay out of Villanova and T-Bay out of Colorado. So I think the Thunder they want to be competitive in the West, and you have to be able to defend at the wing. So I think they go to T-Bay out of Colorado, 6'7", 220 wing defender. He's a little bit of promise on offense, but so right now I think the Thunder are running Luguentz Dortz at the small forward position. He's a two guard, 6'4" cat. So he needs some more height, some length at that position. Then we have the Celtics with their second pick. Their first pick, I had them taking Jalen Smith out of Maryland. So, the Celtics still need a backup point guard. But I think they go best player available, take R.J. Hampton. R.J. Hampton's a very athletic player, a lot of talent. He can develop his outside shot. He's a little bit of a combo guard. The Celtics, they could use, depth at either guard position. Jaylen Brown's really a small forward, and, they drafted this kid out of Indiana last year. Who's not, to me, hasn't shown a lot of promise. So, they go with R.J. Hampton, develop as a two guard. I think that it'll benefit the roster and diversify the roster a little bit. Let's check on time. You're good there. The Knicks. The first I had the Knicks going with Halliburton, picking up the point guard that was needed. If you watch my second video and in the first one, you're missing where's Pokusevski? He's a European player. I think out of Greece, but out of the junior league. 7 foot, but he's like 200 pounds. Real thin guy. He has like serious guard skills. Like he can ball handle, dribble pass. He's long. He has good timing on his blocks. He can protect the rim, but he needs to gain some serious weight. He's one of those. He could be one of those unicorns. It's a sweet looking 3-point shot. I think the Knicks go ahead and take the most talented player available. The Knicks, they're not really attracting high level free agents. So I think they have to take a flyer and go with Pokusevski. They did well with drafting a European player a few years ago, but management didn't gain the respect of that player, and I think they go Pokusevski and Tom Thibodeau. I don't he's not really, he hasn't been really a developmental coach, but I think he's been out of the league, and things change, and hopefully the Knick leadership kind of puts that in as one of his puts it in the repertoire or at least some staff that can develop some young players, because the Knicks definitely need to go that route because they're not attracting high level free agents. And after the Knicks, we have the LA Lakers selecting. You know, if you watch the NBA, you watch the Lakers, you'll see, you know, they have some bigs. They have LeBron, you know, AD and LeBron. I think they can definitely use some shooting, some young shooting. You know, J.R. Smith's not a young guy. Somebody can handle the point. You know, Rondo, he's injured, not injured, but he's a young guy, can't shoot. I mean, older guy can't shoot. So I think the Lakers go with Grant Riller out of Charleston. Best, like I said in the second video, best offensive player in this draft. I mean, he has amazing handles. He shoots the ball well. He was the best player on the team, and other teams try to focus on him. So his percentages weren't very high, but I think that, you know, given an NBA, like given some more space, he can knock down, you know, 3-point shots and deep jump shots at a higher clip. He's all three levels. He can, you know, mid game, you know, mid range game, stop and dribble on the floater, or he can go to the basket. 6'3" guy. I don't know how much goes to the basket in the NBA, but he can get there. He has good elevation on his layups. He could use some weight, some strength. You know, also develop as a defender. You know, he was too much off offensive threat that you know, I don't think he had a lot of energy for defense in Charleston. But if he, you know, sticks to a role position in LA or another team that drafts him, I think that he can develop as a defender and be more of an all around player. You know, the Lakers could, you know, use some scoring and some shooting there. So Grant Riller, I think, will be a good selection, good fit with the Lakers. After the Lakers, we have the Raptors. Uber talented team, well led by coach and GM. Siakam is amazing. OG, if you haven't seen OG play this year because he's been hurt, but you gotta watch him in his bubble playoffs. He is a defender. He's going to be all defensive team very, very soon, if not next year. Very strong, very quick, has a lot of good instincts. The Raptors do have a lot of young talent, so you know, they have some older bigs. They could probably use some depth there. I think they have Boucher, and I like Troy Davis at the guard position. See who I'm going with. I got him on Ramsey out of Texas Tech. Best player available. Sorry for the mumbling, but you know, he's knockdown jump shooter. Very athletic. He could, you know, use some development and, you know, some of his mechanics, but he's a big time player. You know, there are a few guards that they're there at Toronto that are in front of him. So, you know, if they select them, take some time to develop, I think he can be a contributor in a couple of years for them at a high level. And the last pick in the first round of Celtics with their third pick, last pick. They haven't gone point guard yet. I had them going Jalen Smith and then R.J. Hampton, combo player, but Winston out of Michigan State. I think he's a underrated point guard. Just a floor general, good shooter, good leader, just solid player. You know, he's limited in his athleticism. He's not a real tall guy, 6'2", 6'1", but solid player. I think that they'll get the most out of him. You can back up Kemba Walker. Really good player, really good teammate. I think Kemba. You know, I think Winston goes 25 through 35 in this draft. So that wraps up the first round. Hope you liked it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Check out the first two videos if you haven't, and check out the 3 videos I'm having for the second round. I have 3 videos: 1 through 10, 11 through 20, and 21 through 30. This is John with your NBA Mock Draft 2020. Like always, do right and be comfortable.